Hey, dear ones, Pastor Steve and Pastor Mike here on Ash Wednesday as we're doing Drive-Through Ashes. And as we're here doing this, we're thinking about a key understanding of what it means to be a follower of Jesus, a key understanding of Christian theology. And that is that we are dead in our sin and made alive through Christ. Listen to what Ephesians chapter 2 says. It begins in verse 1. As for you, you are dead in your transgressions and sins. Then it says in verse 4, but because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ even when we were dead in transgressions. One of the most helpful ways to understand what Jesus did and what has happened to us is we've moved from death to life. Mike, what speaks to you in that whole understanding?
Well, I mean, when I think about it, I think it is exactly how you began this, that in the way of Jesus, as followers of Jesus, think about Jesus, he went from death to life, right? He went from physical death to resurrection. You can't get resurrection unless he dies. And even think about him coming in the incarnate one. There's not death so much, but there's certainly a difference from being in the heavenlies to now as the incarnate Christ. And there's a new beginning in that way. So that's the way of Jesus. But I also think about how, look, we don't get to God because of good works. We get to God because we're broken and we just are dead in that way.
That's right. That's right. I mean, when we say that we're born spiritually dead, we start out spiritually dead. It's not like we can go find God.
Right.
Because we're dead. We're spiritually dead. We can't do anything to find God. Instead, God finds us and he raises us up. I think a lot of times we don't think about the depth of being spiritually dead. We think we can do something and we can't.
Yeah.
Because when you're dead, you can't do anything. And God finds us. This passage from Ephesians is one of the key passages for me in the Bible. One thing I always encourage people to do is find that ground note passage in the Bible that you kind of measure everything against, that speaks to you in multiple situations, that holds all of the theology that's important to you kind of in one verse. And Ephesians chapter 2 verses 1 through 10 is one of those passages. And when you're looking for a passage like that, finding one that expresses this death to life, death and resurrection understanding is a good criteria when you're looking for your verse, because that's what's happened to us. Jesus came to raise the dead. And that's what he's done to us. Spiritually, in our baptism, when we are put to death in the waters of baptism and raised up to live a new life, to shine the light of Christ in the world, and certainly when we physically die and we're raised to eternal life. So, death to life.
That's right.
May that be encouragement to you, dear ones, as we continue to walk, especially on this Ash Wednesday, when we remember that you are dust and to dust you shall return. God is raising you up to new life. Amen. Take care.